Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Joanne Kesselman, Vice President Academic and Provost here at the University of Manitoba, and I'm honored to be reading this citation today. The highest honor the Senate of a university can confer upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria include distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this afternoon is Mrs. Tannis Richardson. A dedicated philanthropist and volunteer, Tannis Richardson is an enthusiastic champion of her community and its people. Her lifelong commitment to local and international charitable causes is why her name is so well loved in Winnipeg and why she is being awarded an honorary degree today. Since graduated in 1948 from the University of Manitoba's Faculty of Home Economics, now the Faculty of Human Ecology, Mrs. Richardson has made a difference in countless lives through her dedication to arts, health, and cultural organizations in Winnipeg and Canada. 2 years after graduating, Mrs. Richardson joined the Winnipeg Art Gallery as a volunteer member of the Women's Committee. Over the years, she has helped the WAG raise funds for numerous projects. In light of her exceptional experience and service, she became one of the first members of the Advisory Council of the Volunteer Associates of the WAG, a position normally reserved for past WAG presidents and board members. Mrs. Richardson is also a lifetime benefactor and leader of the Health Sciences Center Foundation. In 1991, she was the first recipient of the Foundation's Laureate of Excellence Award, which was established to recognize the contributions of individuals in the community. In 1995, Mrs. Richardson, along with her husband George, acted as honorary co-chairs of the Foundations for Health campaign, an ambitious and successful project between the Health Sciences Center Foundation and the Children's Hospital Foundation that resulted in a new research center. Today, Mrs. Richardson continues to support the HSC Foundation as an honorary director. Mrs. Richardson is a member of the Order of Canada, and she has served on the boards of Rainbow Stage, the Manitoba Opera Association, the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, and the Canadian Association of Youth Orchestras. She has supported and volunteered for a multitude of organizations, such as the Canadian Foundation for AIDS Research, the Kidney Foundation of Canada, the United Way, the Western Canadian Aviation Museum, the Manitoba Museum, and the Winnipeg Public Library Foundations. She is also on the Advisory Council of the Friends of Upper Fort Garry. Mrs. Richardson is especially committed to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation of Canada, chairing the local fundraising committee and serving on the National Executive Committee and Board of Chancellors, as well as serving with JDRF International. In recognition of her dedication and tireless effort, she was honored with the One Step Closer Award from the Juvenile Research Foundation International. There are few communities, organizations, or causes in Manitoba that have not benefited from Mrs. Richardson's selfless generosity. Today, we welcome her back home to the University of Manitoba and honor her ability to envision a better world and to make it so. Mr. Chancellor, it is an honor for me to ask, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba, that you confer on Mrs. Tannis Richardson the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Richardson.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, honored guests, faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen, I have the most incredible feeling of coming home. I spent 4 years on this campus, and it was such an important part of my life. And I just feel the warmth and the special thing of being here. I would like to just mention that it's very nice to have my son Hartley sitting on the stage here with me. I don't know why he got it before I did. On the day that I received my degree of Bachelor of Science in Home Economics from this university, the farthest thought from my mind was that I would be standing on this platform today. But here I am, and I have been asked to say a few words which might be of interest to the graduating class as you enter the next phase of your lives. I would like to share with you some of the experiences that have enriched my life and which might give you some ideas as to the directions you might consider along with your careers. It has been said that I am a philanthropist. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of philanthropy can have a number of related meanings: love, practical benevolence towards mankind, or one who extends oneself for the well-being of his fellow man. It also states that it is the love of humanity as shown through charitable, active efforts. There are countless ways to pursue a life of philanthropy. One is to give financially to a cause, taking into account one's circumstances. I would like to share with you a story of giving in this way. I think we are more likely to relate to real-life incidents than to hear someone pontificate. 25 years ago, I was involved in a gala fundraising event for the juvenile diabetes. It was to take place on the plaza of City Hall. Such a use of this space had never happened before, and there was an atmosphere of great excitement. 600 guests would attend, and it would be a very beautiful event. The morning of the gala, the committee was busy with preparations when an elderly lady walked out of City Hall and asked me what was happening. I told her about the event and that the purpose was to raise funds to find a cure for diabetes. Without hesitation, she reached into her well-worn purse and pressed a dollar bill into my hand and said she hoped it would help to find a cure. As she walked away, I looked after her with a tear in my eye and gratitude in my heart, and knew that someday a cure would be found because of the kindness of so many people like her who would give what they could. Whether it was $1 or $1 million, it will all make a difference. Another form of philanthropy is to give of oneself and one's time. Some years ago, while driving in my car, I heard on the radio of a situation to illustrate this. It told of a lady who owned a small grocery store in the area of our city where many new Canadians shopped. She became concerned of the nutritional value of the choices of food that her customers were buying. She wanted to help educate these people and devised a method of pointing out the sugar content of many of the products on her shelves. She placed small plastic bottles with the corresponding number of sugar cubes beside each item, clearly indicating how much sugar was in each product. For example, water had none, apple juice had 4, and so on. She also observed that the children were coming in to buy candy, so beside her cash register, she placed a basket of fresh fruit, which they could take without charge. Before long, her customers were making more healthy choices, and she then realized the need of setting out an additional basket of fruit as the children were choosing the fruit over the candy. This form of philanthropy not only tested her ingenuity, but required her time and resources. It's hard to imagine how many lives were improved by her caring. Many children are raised in homes where giving is an integral part of their life. Then there are the families who are the recipients of financial as well as community support and have learned the importance of helping others as they were helped. How fortunate I was to be a member of a family where service to others was practiced daily. I'm missing some pieces. One of my mother's many commitments was to serve on the board of governors of this university. And I well remember hearing of the challenges of running a large institution. My father had his busy surgical practice, but devoted much of his time to the formation of the Health Sciences Center as well as other initiatives. As our family usually sat down to the dinner table together most evenings, my brothers and I grew up being exposed to discussions on community matters, and so we learned at an early age the need of giving to others. There are so many ways to become involved in whatever capacity you are able, whether it is serving on boards, committees, volunteering to help youth, health, seniors, or whatever organization you choose. It will make a difference in the lives of others. I have had the privilege of serving on many boards. This involvement has broadened my knowledge in many fields, and I've met wonderful people whose paths I might not have crossed otherwise. I am sure many of you have already benefited by giving of yourselves and your time. These forms of philanthropy come from the heart. It requires ingenuity, compassion, one's time, a precious commodity, and a desire to step out of your comfort zone to respond to the needs of others. You will often hear people say, "I am just an ordinary person. What difference could I possibly make?" In my mind, there are no ordinary people. We each have it within us to make a difference, whether it is giving a hug or a word of encouragement to a lonely person, using our imagination to find a way of helping, be it financially or giving of our time and talents. Together, we can change our me society to a you society, a taking culture to a giving culture. In so doing, your life will be enriched in so many ways, too numerous to count. You have prepared yourselves for your careers by achieving your degrees in your chosen fields. As you go forward, keep an open and curious mind. The world is yours to discover. To the parents, relatives, and friends of the graduating class who have given their support, thank you. To the graduates, my sincere congratulations. Thank you.